Residents of a suburb of Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, are not satisfied with the poor state of infrastructure in their area. Many of them who started building projects in the suburb, which is near the Idu train station, are worried about bad roads, security, amongst other things. In this report, our correspondent Kayla Megwa speaks with the parties involved to get a sense of the plight of the residents.
Idu Sabo is located along the Idu-Karimu Road, a 10-minute drive from Jabi and a 20-minute drive from the city center. This layout opened a few years ago. The new Karimu market is still under construction. As we move into Idu Sabo from the Karimu Road, we can already see some problems. Silt blocked drainages causing a flooding on this dual carriageway, and the road itself needs another layer of asphalt concrete to be complete. This is where the tarred road ends.
All the way from Karimu, new Karimu layout, and then going this way to Idu Sabo has completely been abandoned for a while. And you just discover that people are coming on board, building illegal structures. As we drive down, you see them, on the road down there, you see illegal structures coming up.
One of the developers, in a bid to drum up business, is fixing a portion of the road that leads to his estate. We take a long, winding, untarred road through Angwanshaho as we head into the so-called illegal settlements. With no drainage system in sight and structures erected poorly extending into the road, the residents tell us how they came to live here.
There is a man that said the father has the land here, and he's the one that is selling it for people. Him and the mother.
We bought the land from the man.
The layout is also a health hazard. Open defecation beside a poorly constructed school. Then we head into the estates, where we see fully constructed buildings left empty and many abandoned projects. The project manager of this estate speaks on the challenges here.
Security is a challenge because of the kind of people that surround the estate.
Several issues come to mind when we look at the challenges being faced in Idu Sabo. First and foremost is this access road. Many of the people who live in these estates are attributing the insecurity of this place to the encroaching illegal settlements. As you can see behind me, coming closer and closer. The people who live in these particular estates in Idu Sabo would want the federal government to do what they can to make their estates accessible and safe. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, believes that a non-tribal approach to governance is vital for true development in the country. The Speaker mentioned this during the inauguration of some new roads and bridges built by the Rivers State government. For the Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, the days of promoting political parties at the expense of the people are over. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Ere, tells us more.
This display by Wembe Cultural Group makes way for the royal arrival of the Obi of Onitsha, Igwe Nnameka Achebe, accompanied by the River State government. They are here for the inauguration of the reconstructed Abacha Road, which sits in the heart of the government reservation area and serves businesses as well as Port Harcourt residents. Governor Wike is, however, concerned about what it describes as an unfounded invitation.
EFCC is now inviting contractors that will give jobs. To find out from them, is it true that they awarded this road or they are just giving you money for you to go and keep for the governor?
The Obi of Onitsha cuts the tapes and comments the development strides of Governor Wike's administration.
He has come to the governor, and in 3 years, I think all of you can attest to what he has achieved. I know him as a man of passion, a man who is committed. Everybody in life has to be committed to something.
The governor and his team then moves to Woji, Eleng and Woakpajo communities, but this time with the Speaker of the House of Representatives to inaugurate road projects and bridges. Both the Speaker and the Governor agree that tribal and political differences should not be allowed to hinder the development of the people.
Those who value leadership, those who value democratic evidence like this, those who value excellence anywhere they see. And among citizens, when you talk, it's not a question of who is doing what. It's about what has been done.
You, as one man who has stood firm for this country and for democracy, and you want to come and say, and I told our people, look, for a speaker who belongs to another political party, and this is what Nigeria needs now.
The people are the most excited as the motorcade of the governor drives through the Woji and N180 dual carriageway and the new bridge, which now serves as a major link between Obiakmo, Port Harcourt and Nleme local government areas. Emmanuel Irene, Channels Television.
And staying in that region, militancy remains one of the major setbacks in the development of the Niger Delta, and that's according to the Minister of Transportation, Mr. Chibike Amechi. He made the comment while responding to questions from journalists at Eleme Junction in Port Harcourt, River State, during an assessment tour of the East-West Road project. The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Uguru Usani, who is also part of this team, is anxious to see that the finished work meets the required standard.
The first section of the East-West Roads dualization project from Warri to Kayama in Warri Delta State. Here, the Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi, and his Niger Delta Affairs counterpart, Uguru Usani, lead a ministerial committee to assess the level of work on the East-West Road spanning Warri to Calabar in Cross River State. Contractors handling the various sites briefed the inspection team on the progress made. They all seem to have a common problem: paucity of funds.
15 billion naira to finish this section.
If you get 15 billion naira, you finish entirely.
And we can, no, not entirely, this subsection 1.
Beyond sourcing the funds for projects, the Transport Minister claims that there is an even bigger challenge in militancy.
I'm working as a Minister for Transportation on the Lagos-Ibadan. No army, no police, and there are Chinese there. Nobody's kidnapping them. No communal crisis. Nobody's arguing with them. You cannot use our land. Here, once you bring one project, everybody gathers. That's why the community we must tell our young men, the youth, that no, we can't continue. The other parts of the country will leave us behind.
Day 2 of the tour terminates at Oron in Akwa Ibom State.
We never touched anything till now.
The Niger Delta Affairs Minister expresses satisfaction with the work done so far, but expects a thorough job.
There are concerns about certain portions which demand remedial work. Because in the course of doing the work, it's no use handing out the job or handing over the job while some defects are seen along the path of the project. They should be addressed to be seen as having been complete. So that may add to the cost of whatever contractors are claiming.
He also announces that the contracts for the final phase of the East-West Road project from Oron to Calabar will be awarded very soon. This inspection tour on the East-West Road dualization project is the first since February 2016, and the verdict from this assessing group is a positive one.
The NSIA has good numbers for 2017 and will be telling us more about them on Businesses.
Very correct, Belinda. Thank you so much for joining us in Business News. The Managing Director of the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, Mr. Uche Orji, has revealed the various investment made in infrastructure, agri and health sectors in the year 2017 and the plans for this year 2018. At a news conference in Abuja, he said the NSIA's total assets for the year recorded a growth of 27%.
The key highlight of the year for us is the rapid deployment of funds into infrastructure projects, specifically in agriculture, in healthcare, in education, and infrastructure enabling financial institutions. And to that, I will speak to infra credit. InfraCredit is a company that was set up between the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority as a sponsor and a company called Garantco in the UK. The job of InfraCredit is to provide credit enhancement to infrastructure bonds, which we believe is something that is missing in the deployment of infrastructure projects in Nigeria. If you exclude the impact of foreign exchange, in 2017, our total comprehensive income, or what you may call net income, is 26.28 billion naira, compared to 46.24 billion naira in the previous year. We're partnering with Luth to do an advanced cancer treatment center in Luth. We're doing a high-end diagnostics in Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, and as well as in Umuahia. So these are some of the things that we are working on, and these are some of the highlights of our 2017.
Analysts at financial derivatives company have forecast a decline in Nigeria's headline inflation for the month of May. They expect the country's inflation rate to slow by 68 basis points to 11.8% from 12.4% it recorded in the month of April. This will mark the 16th consecutive monthly decline and the lowest rate of inflation since February 2016. They say the decline in rate of inflation and the slope of the curve are mainly driven by the base year effect. If this forecast is accurate, it will increase the possibility of a rate cut at the next MPC meeting in July this year. The group CEO of United Capital PLC, Mrs. Toyin Sani, is set to leave the financial and investment services powerhouse by the end of June. Mrs. Sani, who has held the position for the group CEO at United Capital since January 2014, will now be leaving with major achievements to her name. Some of them are multi-million trillion naira AMCON bond issues, the Lagos State Bond Program, the Lafarge WAPCO, UPDC, and 4 flour mills debt issues. While United Capital is yet to make a formal public announcement, reports say that she will be pursuing her own areas of interest. Let's talk about the equities market. It recovered strongly from the 4-week streak of losses as it surged 5.03% this week to close at 39.042 points. Now, this was driven mainly by bargain hunting from value stocks across all the major sectors. Demand for Lafarge Nigeria Brewers and Fidelity stocks supported the gains posted by the industrial goods, the consumer goods and the banking sectors, while declines in the oil and gas and insurance indices were largely on the back of losses in the shares of Total and Hallmark Insurance. But let's talk about what analysts are expecting. They say the relatively lower prices of blue chip stocks and positive macroeconomic fundamentals will sustain gains in the equities market next week. And there are more expectations for next week. The Central Bank of Nigeria is expected to offer 180.86 billion naira worth of Treasury bills next week at the market. 6.22 billion of the 91-day, 50 billion naira of the 182-day, and 124.6 billion naira of the 364-day bills are all set to be offered. In the meantime, the Treasury bills market closed bearish this week, lower due to liquidity level and release of auction calendar for the third quarter of this year. Well, unlike the Treasury bills market, sentiments were bearish in the bond market as average yields rose 19 basis points to 13.3%. Sell pressure was spread across all ends of the curve, with January 2022, the 2026 and the March 2036 bonds recording the most significant expansions. We'll always tell you about what dealers are already expecting next week. They hope that yields in the bond market will inch higher in the short to medium term due to weakening signs of monetary easing, capital flight, political uncertainty and increased government borrowing to fund the 2018 budget. That's all on business news for tonight. Thank you for watching. See you next week. I'm N180. It's back to you, Melinda.
Many thanks, Anne. And still to come on the news at 10, Simona Halep wins maiden Grand Slam title after beating America's Sloane Stephens in the French Open. And that's on Sports News. Stay with us.